Over 175. Over 175 armed state troopers and state forest rangers went back into the dense Adirondack woodland this morning. Over 175 armed state troopers and forest rangers went back into the dense Adirondack woodland this morning, slowly now closing in a circle with their bloodhounds in the area where Robert Garrow was last seen. The object is to take Robert Garrow alive. He's wanted for questioning in a second stabbing death, that of a Boston area camper found stabbed to death near a tree 23 miles from this campsite. His companion, a co-ed from Illinois, is still missing. Doug Myers for CBS News near Wells, New York. The object is to take Robert Garrow alive. He's also wanted in connection with the stabbing death of a Massachusetts camper found not 20 miles from this roadblock 3 weeks ago. His 23-year-old co-ed companion is still missing. Over 175 state troopers, forest rangers, backed by helicopters, spent their 5th day searching this densely wooded Adirondack area for Robert Garrow. And now a state police spokesman says Garrow is leading us in circles. He's playing games, and it's only a matter of time before he runs into us. Doug Myers for CBS News near Wells, New York.
Hi, Nick.
Into trees and then attacked and stabbed to death before. Barks little list. Aren't you? We'd like.
Let's do it. Do it. No comment. What do you think of Colonel Toohey? Do it.
Right. No, we can't make.
Major, what is the strategy today?
If you noted before, we were on the other side of this creek, up on Old 8B, and we were tight there. So he slipped this way on us, but now we're tight here, but we still have our perimeters up.
Major, what do you think the chances are, since the cordon is a lot tighter than it has been before, what do you think the chances are of perhaps making the capture or making a final end to this manhunt today?
Well, hopefully we shall, yes. Every day we face that same problem, and every day we're optimistic that we're going to catch him.
There's the bad noise. Betty, what happened this afternoon?
This evening. The car came in, and we have no attendant tonight. He's out sick. And I told him that he wanted gas. And I said, if you want gas, you'll have to pump it. He says, you have no gas? I says, yes, I have gas. He says, oh, the pumps are closed? I said, no. I said, the pumps are open. We have gas, and you can get it if you pump it. But he was very reticent about getting out of the car. And finally, he decided, I guess he was going to get it because he wouldn't have gotten it anywhere else. And he got out, and he came over. He says, I've never done this before. And I said, well, I'll tell you what to do. But he says, here, let me give you the $5 bill. He'll pay you first. He said, I want $5. And he comes running over with his hand out straight to throwing the money at me. And he wouldn't come up close. I had to step outside to get it. And then he just stopped and just kind of stared at me for a minute.
What did the man look like?
Just like the pictures of him. He had balding, brown hair, blue eyes. He had glasses, but with a gold rim. Same shaped face, lips. Everything seemed to jive.
The car that was stolen in Speculator was a white Pontiac Tempest with Ohio plates. Did that fit the description?
Yes, I hadn't been able to place the make of the car until I mentioned it, but
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming because it gives me the opportunity to publicly thank Governor Rockefeller for his support and his cooperation in obtaining approval from the legislature to fill 230 trooper vacancies which have occurred during the past years. And we anticipate, we have already sent out letters of appointment to 130 candidates for a class to commence on September the 6th at the State Police Academy here. Among the 130 candidates, there will be 5 women known as troopers. These 5 women have been notified by mail as of last evening, so I will not reveal their names in order to give them the opportunity to be first advised so that they can make decision on acceptance of the appointment and to advise their employer of their decision to leave his present employment. The 5 women is a new innovation to the Division of State Police. Never before in its 56 years of history has a woman been employed as a member of the state police. Governor Rockefeller in 1969 saw the woman will be used for exactly the same purposes as the well-known male trooper with some rational limitations. Obviously, we're not going to put a single woman trooper on a roadblock such as we are now maintaining in the North Country looking for an elusive murderer. This would not be considered in good taste or in good wisdom, but police agency. And in order to achieve the point that we have arrived at this morning, it took us 103 days from the time of the crime until his apprehension in Nevada when he was brought back. We have other homicide cases that are still under investigation that have never been solved, and they are still open. And when we do have time, we pick up lead investigations on them. And this continues on forever.
Do you know offhand just how much it's costing to keep those 200 men?
Well, I would say plenty. I can't tell you exactly how much because I won't get the bill until it's all over with. This is like going to a dinner in a restaurant. You never know what it's costing until you get the check at the end of the dinner. And, I think the need for more troopers has always been quite obvious, and it doesn't need a homicide in the North Country to point it up. We have consistently asked, we've tried to convince the legislature that we need more people, that the ever-increasing responsibilities of the state police, because law enforcement is not a profit-making corporation. We have nothing to show except the brutal statistics of crime and the number of people that are killed each year on highways and things. Well, time always favors society, because I'm a great believer in that truth will out.
Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Just pick up a walkie-talkie and go ahead.
All right.
Take your radio.
1, 2,
Huh?
3, 4.
Yeah, you got to walk.
Walk the road?
Yeah. Well, you want it into the shoulder. No, not into the shoulder, you know? Where before you can't cover that much with 8 men, but you're going to have to cover the shoulder.
Okay, then you want us to get down on one side and then cross the road and come back on the other?
Yeah, right here.
Okay, where do we get the walkie-talkie?
Pick it out of the man truck.
I'm gonna go get the light.
Oh, yeah? What side of the road we going on? Let's go in on this side. All right? Is that the way you want to do it?
way in though, right?
No, just enough so you can sweep it from the shoulder in. That's what he said. Get down one side and come back up the other. Let's just go in 8 wide and we'll come back. So we'll have to walk till we come to that one little wood road there, that little cut-off, whatever you call it. Don't go in too far now, just enough so we can, stay near the road. That far enough? Want to go a little bit further? Just a little bit. We're a little bit too close yet.
We're here, folks, at home.
You just did. What's it like trying to search for somebody up in these woods?
Well, that's a good question. It's for tracks. We went up in an area where there hadn't been anybody, and up this Rob's Creek, And but we ran out of tracks, so it's hard to say just how bad or where he could be.
Yeah, I had a couple of the state police remark to me that you could almost fall over the guy before you'd see him.
Oh yes, that's true. It's if a man really wanted to hide out or knew the woods at all, it's very difficult to, unless you stumble on a man, or that's why we were trying to stay quiet so we wouldn't disturb him before we had a chance of disturbing him.
Take the troopers we have left over and give them cars, because they can get into areas that we can't with those four-wheel drives, right? Guys, and meets up there. Well, all right.
Take all the cars right up there.
All right.
We'll be out of the way always.
All right. Okay. Very deep. Why don't we go up there for
We just finished interviewing witnesses to this crime, and as a result of the interview of witnesses, we came up with a positive identification that I'll be glad to distribute to you, to be used, we hope, in an aid to apprehending this subject.
At this point?
That's right.
Thank you, Major.
Thanks, Major.
He has a fetish for hats and for ropes. Is that?
He wears hats.
Wears hats.
Most all the time.
Well, I assume he hasn't got one on by now.
They got it.
Tough to hold on
He
to your
lost his
hat up
hat.
in there. Oh, you got it.